Hi, everyone. Today, let's talk about the House being taken by the Republicans, and then we'll talk about Bath&Body Works earnings. And then we got some stocks to go over, and then we'll look at my results for the day and my holdings going into tomorrow. If you like trading stocks and options and making money, definitely like and subscribe. I make videos like this every single day, so make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss out on any future episodes. Welcome to the Portfolio Bulletin. Let's get started. So Nancy Pelosi steps down as the House Democratic leader after 2 decades of service, and the GOP is set to take a narrow majority. She's clearly been in Congress for a very, very long time, and she said she's going to serve out the remainder of her term for which she was elected, and she made this announcement as soon as she found out that she would no longer have the majority in the House. You can see here her face is made of mostly plastic, and she was actually the first female to lead the chamber. I didn't really agree with her on very much, but congratulations on a long time of service in the government. And good luck to her in whatever she does next with her around $100 million net worth. The important part for us as investors is that Congress is now split, and anytime the Congress is split, that's usually the best case scenario for markets. Their returns historically are best when the House and the Senate are split, which is currently the situation. So hopefully that gives a little bit of life to the markets going into the next 2 years before the presidential election. Moving over to Bath&Body Works earnings, the stock was up 25%, which is ridiculous, and its third quarter report came out, and it raised its fiscal year guidance to around $3 to $3.20 per share, which is about a 10% increase from its previous expectation. Credit Suisse was a little bit more hesitant, raising the price target to $42, and the stock is currently trading at $39, so there's about a 10% possibility of growth there based on their price targets. JP Morgan has a price target of $40, which is almost the current value, so less upside potential in their book. And of course, the stock has had a rough year along with most of the others, falling about 45%. Moving over to the S&P 500, from the close yesterday, we were down about 1/3%, so not terrible, and looks like we're up a little bit here after hours. But we had this big gap, fill that gap just barely, sold off from there, retested that $329 level. So we did come in, test 390, retested that 392 level, which we did talk about yesterday. And then we went a little bit higher, closing right at the highs here in after hours trading. I have to say this looks pretty bullish. There's definitely a little bit of a structure here. Pretty oversold to start the day, but momentum is strong. It looks to me that we're going at least a few dollars higher tomorrow morning. Maybe a slight sell-off just to recoup a little bit of demand here, going maybe $1, $1.50 lower than we are. Then I would expect this to top out at the 144 EMA here on the 15-minute chart, which is currently around 396.25. Moving over to the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ was actually stronger than the SPY and the Russell. Gapped down just like the SPY, but came up, got above those previous highs, retested the middle of that range here at 285.67. I thought we would kind of stop at 285, but we did get a little bit higher than that, just above 286. Before coming all the way back down to 282.89 at the lows, and then rallied into the close, broke through these previous channels that we were in over the past 3 days. And it looks like this retest of the lows in this range might be complete in that we're higher low here and continuing higher. Got that nice bottom right at the beginning, higher low, and then a continuation. Looking for that price target at the 144 is still on the 15-minute chart. So right around 287 would be the high here that I would like to take some profits. I would expect a retrace from there, maybe back into this 285 range, and then a continuation higher, maybe up to 290. But this structure here looks really nice. So we got this big bottom, slightly higher low, huge rally, impulsive move, came down, bottomed a little bit, made a higher low. And what can you say? This looks pretty bullish, still intact, even with the most recent sell-offs. And right now, it's hard to not be a little bit bullish here on the NASDAQ. Moving over to the Russell, actually the weakest of the three, had a little bit of a bottom, slightly higher low, did not get anywhere close to filling that gap. So big gap left here, slightly bullish here at the close, but not nearly as strong. You hope to see this get up to 185 tomorrow. That would be great. That would be a pretty big move, about a 1% move here on the Russell. That'd be the range for me. And then we're looking to retest these lows here, get a confirmation that this is a solid bottom put in, and then we can get a continuation back once again into that 185. And if that breaks, then we'd be looking for 187 as the follow-on zone of supply. Otherwise, on momentum, looks good, and RSI is not overbought yet, so still a little bit of upward potential tomorrow morning. Moving over to Bath&Body Works. It's in top gainers, and we talked about its earnings. Stock went from a low of $31.31 all the way up to $39, so big rally. got it back into this middle zone that we were here from August into September before we had a bigger sell-off down to $32 or so. Once again, we have a solid bottom in at $26, some slightly higher lows at $31, $32, and it looks like a nice impulsive move and a potential for some more upside. I would say the next zone of supply would be somewhere around $45.97, $46, back in this gap that we have left here on May. And that's where I would expect this rally to end as long as it stays strong. Strong momentum, not overbought yet here on RSI on the 4-hour chart. So potential for more upside. Of course, any kind of impulsive move like this might have some retracement in the next day or two, but I wouldn't expect this rally to finish until we get up to that previous gap around $46. Moving over to AMD. For top gainers, it actually had a green day today, so it finished yesterday at $72.66 and finished today at about $74, so up just a few dollars, which is better than most of the stocks today. And again, this looks pretty bullish. Momentum is gaining to the upside here on the hourly chart. Still waiting to see an impact with that upper resistance line currently at $79.26. So it's within striking distance, maybe a 2 days of ATR to the upside, but looking for that movement up into this range. In terms of support, we now have solid support at $72.50 and once again down here at $70.50. So 2 levels of support in this zone. And then the next level below that would be at the gap that we have left back here at $68.50. We'll also talk CHWY here briefly just because I still have a position in here. Did drop about $1, not terrible. Went sideways for most of the day. This does look kind of weak here at the end of the day. But momentum to the downside is fading, so that is a little bit reassuring. RSI is still moving downwards here, so it's like sideways price action. Hopefully we get a move higher in the rest of the markets, and this can get pulled up a little bit with it, just to protect my position a little bit more. We now have some decent support at $40. It was tested here on Wednesday, and then once again here on Thursday, so $40 seems like a solid range. As long as that doesn't break tomorrow, I'll continue to hold this position. Moving over to XOP on the hourly chart, that short that we've been following for at least the last few weeks did pay off. Got that move down yesterday, got another move down today. Hopefully took some profits at this support if you've been following along with this trade. Did start to rally here a little bit towards the end of the day. If we get a nice move higher, maybe into this $57.90, $58 range, I would definitely be looking to short this once again. I still think that oil and gas is a little bit overbought on the grand scheme. If you go up here to the daily chart, you can see we have a big top here, slightly higher than that right now. But we have this gap here that wasn't all the way filled. Big top up here at about $170 per share. It really seems like the top. I don't think we're going to get back up to those levels. And as long as we continue to flirt with these previous highs, I just think these moves are going to continue to fail. Now we're going to come down and retest some of these previous levels, at least in the 140 range, if not getting all the way down to 120 again at some point next year. Moving over to the dollar, this continues to be relevant. We had a rally overnight, in my opinion. That's why we got down. And then we kind of sold off throughout the day, but this does look slightly bullish now. We have a slight bullish structure. Still have resistance here at 107.23, 107.24. As long as this continues to hold, that should be good for stocks, but we do seem to be seeing a little bit of a pickup in the dollar. We're still waiting for this to fail and really get below this previous support. If that does happen, then we should expect this to move back into the 106 range at these previous lows on 9 August. That'd be right above 106. So that'd be a nice little drop to where we were. But again, on the 4-hour chart, you can see how oversold we were. We still have the 55 EMA all the way up here at 108 and the 144 EMA at 110. So big oversold conditions. And it wouldn't surprise me if we did get a big push up to this previous level at 107.88 in the vicinity of this 55 EMA on the 4-hour. That would definitely be bad, but I would expect that to fail, and then we can get the dollar to roll over, and that would be good for growth and good for stocks as a whole. Moving over to JNK, you can see this resistance that we've had for quite a while did end up holding, so we got a big gap down with the rest of the markets. Did try to rally through the midday. Did look like we were picking up a bit of momentum. The MACD was slowing down on the downward momentum. And if we can get a little bit of a break higher here, at least a slight recovery, maybe back into this $91 range, that should be good for growth. But there's certainly potential that this breaks down further, going all the way down to this new level of support that I'm estimating to have support at $90.38. That's the same price range we had here in October 27th. And then it was once again tested here in November, and then again here in the middle of November. And it's right on line with this previous line of support. So definitely keep an eye on this. If this rolls over, that'll be bad for stocks. But if we'd get a nice little recovery, maybe we have one more up day before the end of the week. Looking at TLT, you can see we had those two big up days. Did get a little bit overheated here. You could see RSI was super overbought. Gap down along with everything else. Hit 99.83 or so. Slightly lower than that in the pre-market. And then continued to rally and still looks pretty bullish here once again. Would not surprise me if this continues higher. Maybe moving up and filling this gap to 101.15. That would be my expectation on TLT. And as long as this continues to hold, it seems like there's a pretty decent structure going on across the major indices. And maybe this isn't a bear market rally. As long as everything continues to rally at least a little bit, maybe the bottom is in. Moving over to the VIX, actually on the hourly chart this time, because we did have this structure and I was watching it pretty closely. We rallied up into the beginning of the day when we had that big down move across the markets. And then since then, we sold off once again, getting back down just below the 24 range. Definitely some support in this area, 23.75 or so. But the structure seems to be breaking down. And if you look at the one-day chart, definitely looks weak. Slight recovery. Looks like we might have failed in this range and then moving back down to the downside. I don't know. Maybe this breakout is not what I thought it was, and the markets are going to go a little bit higher and volatility is going to go lower. That's what it looks like right now, even though the MACD is looking to me like we're going to get a cross here. Momentum still looking like it's going to turn green here on the VIX, but the price action is just not supporting that right now. If this is going to turn up, I would also be looking to see if RSI crosses that 50 line, which it has not done yet. Most of the signals are bearish, slight bullish signal here on the MACD, but definitely one to keep in mind here. Moving over to my results for the day, I'm actually down a few dollars. I'm not sure quite how they do the math on this. My individual account is a bit higher. My Roth is a bit lower, about $100 on each, but it says I'm up almost $200 on my individual account. Not quite sure how that works, but overall from my previous video, I'm down like $9. Not too bad, especially with the NASDAQ being about 0.25% at close and the IWM being down almost 1%. And I was able to protect myself a little bit with some calls there. Looking at my positions, same here on CHWY. Still expecting this to expire worthless and collect that last $30 that we have here. IWM, I did roll the call down to 138. Slight loser here, but as long as the stock rallies tomorrow, I will be happy with that. I still have 75 cents, so the net break even to the upside here is 183.75, and the stock is currently at 182.54. So a little bit of upside protection still want the stock to rally. And then I did actually pick up a put for Friday at 180. I just felt like we were a little bit oversold on the IWM, so I sold that. Slight profit here, and that was sold for 71 cents, so I do want that to rally. So overall, potential profit of about $150 here on the IWM for tomorrow. That would be really strong. And then on the NASDAQ, I'm super bullish. So I bought some shares. You can see big profits, basically was most of my profits on the shares. A couple of day trades here as well, but net profit shares here, 200. And I sold two calls against that at 283 for $2. Says we're in a $200 loss here, but that's not actually true. So 283 here with the $2 credit, my break even is actually 285. The stock's actually not at 285 right now. So in terms of profitability, stock can go up 20 more cents for my max profit. And then I would not have this big $200 loss here either. And then I do have one put here for Monday at 280. Trying to buy the stock about 1.5% lower than it is right now, and I have a dollar credit laid on for that. Let me know down in the comments section what you think of the House and the Senate being split, and is Bath&Body Works a buy going into the future? Definitely like and subscribe if you got any value out of this video, and make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss out on any future episodes. Of course, this is not financial advice. This is all for entertainment purposes. Good luck in your trading, and have a great day.